This is the Riva in Split, Croatia. The usual sunny Saturday just before noontime mob scene. Temperature is probably about 55. Feels a little warmer because the sun is reflecting off the perfectly smooth waters of the harbor of Split, the Adriatic Sea. You can see a yacht over there and one of the big Jadrolinja ferries that ply these waters between Split and the many islands that are just off the coast. And this is the Riva, as they call it here. And the buildings to my left are an outgrowth of Diocletian's palace. The Roman emperor built his retirement home here a couple thousand years ago, 1700 years ago actually. And the city grew up after his death within the walls of that palace and expanded beyond it. Split is now the second largest city in Croatia after Zagreb, of course, the wonderful capital. And most of the city outside of this small old city area and the older community that immediately surrounds it is very modern, built during the Yugoslav era dictatorship of Field Marshal Tito, a communist dictator that we may remember from our childhood in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And it's a pretty chaotic scene. Then, of course, after the fall of communism, the city continued to grow in a rather haphazard fashion. A lot of modern, nondescript concrete apartment buildings, multiple story buildings from 5 stories to 15 stories. Most places very dense, not very imaginative. So once you get outside of this charming center, Split is pretty nondescript, but it's definitely fun to be down in this part of town. Inside the walls of the palace especially, it's amazing. Those of you who are fans of the TV series Game of Thrones probably will recognize some of the scenes from inside the palace that were shot here in Split. A week from now, I'm going to be in Dubrovnik, where many of the scenes from Game of Thrones were filmed, but Split was also the scene of a few. And following that, it became very popular with not just European tourists, but many Americans have come here as well. These are the walls here of the original palace, dating 1700 years ago. And the floors are still intact, 1700 years. And over hundreds of years after that, many of the buildings inside palace spans about 2.5 blocks in each direction. That's it for now. I'm going to go visit my friend Dr. Yezina and confirm my appointment for Monday. Bye-bye.